Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying this. The world often tells us that strength is a matter of physical endurance or the capacity to overpower others. However, true strength lies in the quiet, resolute ways in which one confronts the complexities of life. Strength isn't just about being unyielding in your actions, it is about how you navigate the storms that life throws at you. And today I will share 7 signs that show you are truly a very strong woman. The concept of responsibility is fundamental to personal growth and maturity. In a world that often encourages people to look outward for explanations and solutions, the idea of taking full responsibility for one's life can be both revolutionary and difficult. But a strong woman understands deep at her core that taking responsibility is not simply about acknowledging her role in a situation, it's about embracing her capacity to affect change and control the course of her own life. One of the first and most important aspects of responsibility is rejecting the victim mindset. In modern society, it is all too easy to adopt a victim mentality, where circumstances, other people, or societal structures are blamed for personal shortcomings. The narrative of victimhood suggests that you are helpless in the face of adversity, that your life is defined by forces beyond your control. It's a mindset that absolves you of accountability and hands over your power to external factors. However, a strong woman does not view herself as a victim. Instead, she acknowledges the difficulties in her life but chooses to take full ownership of her response to them. She recognizes that while she may not have control over every circumstance, she always has control over how she reacts to those circumstances. She knows that taking responsibility means stepping into her own power, even when faced with setbacks, challenges, or the unfairness of the world. For example, consider someone who has faced significant setbacks in their career or personal life, perhaps a difficult breakup, a job loss, or a family tragedy. While the event itself may have been outside of her control, how she chooses to respond is entirely within her grasp. Does she let these events define her, pulling her into despair or inaction? Or does she acknowledge the emotional impact, accept it as part of her journey, and choose to take steps forward regardless of the pain? By taking responsibility for her emotional and mental state, she holds the power to move past challenges rather than letting them define her. Taking responsibility also means owning your actions and decisions, whether good or bad. A strong woman doesn't place blame on others for the choices she makes. She does not claim external forces or other people as the cause of her decisions. It is all too easy to blame others for our mistakes, to point fingers when things go wrong. Society often makes it tempting to place blame on others, your parents, your partner, your boss, or the system. While it is true that we are influenced by those around us and the systems we live within, it is ultimately our decisions that shape our reality. For a woman who takes responsibility, there is no room for excuses. If she makes a mistake, she owns it. If she fails at something, she reflects on why and learns from it. She understands that her actions, no matter how small, have consequences, and that the path she walks is carved by her own decisions. There is power in this awareness. When you take full responsibility for your choices, you are no longer a passive participant in your life. You become the architect of your destiny. Consider a situation where a woman has invested significant time and energy into a relationship, but it ultimately ends. Instead of blaming the other person for the breakup or lamenting her bad luck, she asks herself, what could I have done differently? What part did I play in the relationship's failure? In asking these questions, she gains insight into her own behavior and the dynamics of the relationship, empowering her to grow. Rather than being a victim of circumstance, she learns, adapts, and moves forward with a clearer sense of self. Taking responsibility requires the courage to face uncomfortable truths. This is where many people falter. It's often easier to avoid the uncomfortable realities of our own lives, to ignore the areas in which we are falling short or not meeting our potential. A strong woman, however, knows that true growth comes from confronting those uncomfortable truths head on. She doesn't shy away from self-reflection or criticism. Responsibility, in this sense, means accepting that you are not perfect. It's about recognizing your flaws and areas of weakness and then taking actionable steps to address them. It means being brutally honest with yourself, even when it's painful. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations or situations, she takes them on. She is willing to be accountable for how her actions and choices affect her own life and those around her. This ability to face the truth and accept responsibility is a crucial aspect of emotional maturity. It is a sign of strength, not weakness. When a woman can face the realities of her life without denial or defensiveness, she can begin to make real progress towards self-improvement. This is not about self-blame, but about self-awareness. It is about recognizing that despite external circumstances, your responses and decisions are within your control. A strong woman understands that her happiness does not depend on anyone else but herself. She does not rely on others to provide her with fulfillment or contentment. She takes responsibility for her own emotional well-being. This means she doesn't put the burden of her happiness on her partner, her friends, her family, or her job. While these relationships and factors can influence her life, her happiness is not contingent on them. Taking responsibility for your happiness means recognizing the power you have to create your own joy and satisfaction. It's about engaging in activities that nourish your soul, setting boundaries that protect your emotional health, and seeking out relationships that support your growth. It's about choosing to focus on the positive aspects of life, even when things are difficult. A strong woman takes full responsibility for curating a life that aligns with her values and aspirations. She seeks fulfillment within herself rather than relying on external validation or circumstances. Emotions are an integral part of the human experience, and they can be both a source of strength and a challenge. For many, emotions are a double-edged sword. On one hand, they provide depth and color to life. On the other, they can overwhelm, cloud judgment, and lead to actions that are later regretted. A strong woman understands the vital importance of emotional mastery, not suppression, but control and understanding of her feelings. The first principle of emotional mastery is understanding that emotions are not commands but data. Emotions arise from our internal processes. They are signals telling us something about our environment or our inner world. When you experience anger, sadness, joy, fear, or anxiety, your brain is essentially providing you with information that requires attention. A strong woman does not ignore or invalidate her emotions, but she does not let them dictate her actions either. For instance, if she feels anger in response to an event, she doesn't immediately react in a way that escalates the situation. Instead, she takes a step back and assesses the emotion. What is causing this anger? Is it a legitimate grievance, or is this about something within me, perhaps unresolved issues or a deep personal value that has been threatened? By doing so, she gains insight into what triggered the emotion and can respond more thoughtfully, rather than impulsively acting on the emotion. Emotional mastery begins with recognizing that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply reactions to stimuli. It's what you choose to do with those emotions that defines your strength. A strong woman does not allow her emotions to govern her actions blindly. Instead, she takes time to understand what they are trying to tell her, and then chooses the most appropriate and thoughtful course of action. One of the key markers of emotional mastery is the ability to separate emotion from reaction. When emotions are overwhelming, the impulse to act can be almost irresistible. Anger might push you to lash out, sadness might urge you to retreat, or fear might freeze you in your tracks. But a strong woman knows that while emotions are valid, they are not the same as actions. This ability to pause, reflect, and then respond is what sets her apart. She recognizes that acting in the heat of the moment often leads to regret and hasty decisions that could have been avoided with greater emotional awareness. For example, if she feels irritated during a disagreement, she might take a deep breath and step away from the conversation, rather than responding immediately in a way that could escalate the conflict. By creating space between the emotional impulse and the response, she gains the ability to act more deliberately, with a clearer mind. Mastering emotions means knowing when to engage and when to step back. A strong woman is not afraid of her emotions, but she is also not controlled by them. This control over her emotional responses is not about suppressing feelings, but about understanding their nature and choosing the best way to deal with them. In moments of emotional intensity, she retains the ability to observe her thoughts and feelings without automatically giving in to them. It is crucial to understand that emotional mastery is not something that comes naturally to everyone. Emotional regulation is a learned skill, one that requires patience, practice, and self-awareness. No one is born with perfect emotional control. A strong woman knows this, and she is committed to developing her emotional intelligence. This skill involves recognizing patterns in emotional responses, identifying triggers, and understanding how certain circumstances affect her state of mind. Over time, through repeated practice, she learns how to regulate her emotions more effectively. For instance, she might learn that certain types of stress trigger feelings of anxiety or irritability. By recognizing these patterns, she can develop strategies to cope with or mitigate these emotions, such as mindfulness, physical exercise, or journaling. Emotional mastery is about developing the ability to manage rather than be ruled by one's feelings. It's not about avoiding emotions, but about embracing them in a way that enables clear decision-making and thoughtful actions. A strong woman recognizes that her emotional landscape will vary, but she also believes that she can direct how she reacts to those emotions. Whether through breathing exercises, reframing her thoughts, or practicing self-compassion, she consistently works to improve her emotional regulation. Another aspect of emotional mastery is empathy and understanding of how others are feeling and the ability to respond with care and sensitivity. A strong woman, while controlling her own emotions, also deeply understands the emotions of others. She doesn't allow her own emotional reactions to cloud her judgment or the ability to connect with others. This is especially true in challenging conversations, disagreements, or emotional exchanges. For example, when a close friend is upset, a strong woman doesn't become defensive or overwhelmed by her own emotional reactions. Instead, she listens carefully, recognizes the emotions her friend is expressing, and responds with compassion. Her emotional control allows her to be present for others without becoming consumed by their emotions or allowing her own emotional state to interfere. In this way, emotional mastery doesn't just benefit the individual, it enhances relationships and fosters deeper connections with others. Empathy is not the same as emotional enmeshment. A strong woman can empathize with others without taking on their emotional burdens or letting those emotions control her. She understands that her responsibility is to provide support, not to absorb or take on someone else's feelings as her own. In this way, she can navigate emotionally charged situations with grace and clarity, offering comfort and understanding while maintaining her own emotional stability. Finally, emotional mastery plays a significant role in resilience. Life is filled with adversity, setbacks, and challenges that are often outside of our control. A strong woman faces these challenges with resilience because she understands that her emotional reactions do not define her ability to overcome obstacles. When faced with hardship, she does not fall victim to despair or helplessness. Instead, she uses her emotions as a tool for growth. For instance, if she faces failure or rejection, she allows herself to feel disappointment or sadness but does not let these emotions paralyze her. Instead, she uses them as motivation to move forward, learning from the experience and finding the strength to keep going. She recognizes that resilience is not about avoiding negative emotions, but about moving through them and emerging stronger on the other side. Mastering one's emotions is not a one-time achievement, but a continual process of awareness, self-regulation, and adaptation. It is about transforming the way we interact with our own inner worlds and using our emotions as sources of strength rather than weakness. A strong woman knows that emotional mastery is a lifelong journey, and through it, she becomes better equipped to handle the complexities of life with grace and wisdom. Chaos is an inescapable part of life, and how we choose to confront it shapes the very course of our existence. For many, the idea of chaos is synonymous with fear, confusion, and disruption. The unknown can be daunting, and the disorder that comes with it often feels overwhelming. Yet, a strong woman understands that chaos, far from being something to avoid or shrink away from, is an essential component of personal growth and transformation. To confront chaos is to engage with the unpredictable, to face life's most challenging aspects head-on with strength, resilience, and clarity. A strong woman doesn't flee from chaos but stands firm in the face of it, recognizing it as an opportunity to evolve, adapt, and shape her destiny. The first key to confronting chaos is understanding that it is an inherent part of life. No one is exempt from experiencing chaos, regardless of their wealth, status, or personal achievements. Life is a constant ebb and flow of order and disorder, of stability and instability. Chaos is not an anomaly or a temporary disruption. It is a constant force that exists in every aspect of our lives. The chaos of unexpected events, the unpredictability of human nature, the complexities of relationships, and the unforeseen challenges in our careers or personal lives all contribute to the vast, uncharted territory of chaos. A strong woman does not view chaos as something foreign or unexpected. She accepts that disorder and unpredictability are not only unavoidable but are vital to the growth process. The universe is chaotic by its very nature, and trying to fight it or ignore it is futile. Instead, she seeks to understand and navigate it, knowing that her ability to confront chaos will determine her success in life. Acknowledging that chaos is a natural part of existence enables her to approach it not with fear, but with the confidence that she can handle whatever it throws at her. At its core, chaos is the unknown. It is the uncertainty that lies ahead, the uncharted waters that we must sail into without a map. A strong woman embraces this uncertainty with courage. It is easy to stay within the boundaries of the known, to create a life that feels comfortable and predictable. But this is not where growth happens. True growth occurs when we step into the unknown, when we confront situations that challenge us and force us to expand our capacity for resilience, adaptation, and creativity. The ability to embrace the unknown requires courage, the courage to face situations where the outcome is uncertain and where failure is a real possibility. This courage doesn't come from a lack of fear, but from the willingness to move forward despite it. A strong woman does not wait for the ideal circumstances to present themselves, nor does she wait for all the answers to appear before taking action. She knows that the only way to grow is by moving forward into the unknown, trusting in her own abilities and judgment to navigate the uncertainties that lie ahead. Whether it's starting a new business, confronting a personal loss, or pursuing an ambitious goal, the strong woman steps forward with resolve. She acknowledges the fear, but she does not let it paralyze her. Instead, she uses it as fuel to move ahead, confident that she can handle the chaos that comes with new experiences and challenges. Confronting chaos is not about having all the answers or controlling every aspect of the situation. It is about adaptability. The ability to adapt to shifting circumstances, to pivot when things don't go according to plan, and to remain fluid in the face of unpredictability is a defining trait of a strong woman. Life rarely unfolds as we expect, and chaos often disrupts even the best laid plans. A strong woman knows that flexibility is key to navigating this unpredictability. Adaptability means being open to change, not clinging too tightly to preconceived notions, and being willing to reframe your approach when necessary. It's about finding creative solutions in the midst of chaos and being willing to experiment with different strategies when the first attempt doesn't work. A woman who embraces chaos with adaptability understands that the path forward may not always be linear. Sometimes the road will take unexpected twists, and there may be moments when the way forward seems unclear. In these moments, she doesn't retreat or give up. She adjusts, reorients, and finds another way. A strong woman is not defined by her ability to control everything, but by her ability to navigate the unpredictable nature of life with grace and intelligence. Her strength lies in her capacity to adapt to ever-changing circumstances and to trust herself to find the right solutions, even when the path is unclear. One of the greatest challenges that chaos brings is emotional turbulence. The upheaval caused by unpredictable events can trigger deep emotional reactions: fear, frustration, anger, sadness, or confusion. How a person responds to these emotions in the face of chaos can either propel them forward or keep them stuck. A strong woman understands that emotional resilience is a crucial part of confronting chaos. Emotional resilience is the ability to remain grounded and clear-headed even in the midst of emotional turmoil. It's about acknowledging emotions without allowing them to control you. A strong woman does not ignore her feelings, but she does not let them dictate her actions either. She knows that in order to navigate chaotic situations, she must be able to separate her emotional reactions from her rational decision-making. For example, when faced with a difficult challenge or a sudden crisis, a strong woman may feel fear or anxiety. However, she does not let these emotions overtake her. Instead, she acknowledges them, takes a moment to process them, and then refocuses on what actions need to be taken. Her ability to remain emotionally balanced in chaotic situations allows her to make sound decisions and stay focused on her goals. Finally, confronting chaos is about resilience in the face of adversity. Chaos is not just about uncertainty, it's about the challenges and obstacles that emerge when things fall apart. Whether it's a personal loss, a professional setback, or a relationship breakdown, chaos often brings moments of adversity that test your strength and resolve. A strong woman rises to these occasions not by avoiding them, but by confronting them head on. She understands that adversity is a part of life and that it is through these difficult moments that she is forged into a stronger person. She faces challenges with a sense of determination and grit, knowing that each obstacle is an opportunity to develop resilience and character. Rather than giving up in the face of adversity, she perseveres, using the chaos as a catalyst for her growth and self-improvement. Confronting chaos is not about seeking out disorder or chaos for its own sake. It's about recognizing that chaos is inevitable and learning how to meet it with strength, adaptability, and resilience. A strong woman does not shy away from the unknown. She faces it with courage and the unwavering belief that she has the inner resources to navigate it successfully. Through embracing chaos, she doesn't just survive, she thrives. Independence and self-reliance are two of the most powerful qualities that define strength and resilience in an individual. For many, the notion of independence can be associated with the ability to function without needing others for survival. But true independence goes far beyond this surface-level understanding. It is the ability to rely on oneself for decision-making, emotional strength, and self-sufficiency. A strong woman embodies these qualities, not only in her practical life, but in her mindset, values, and overall approach to life. At the heart of independence lies the concept of personal responsibility. A strong woman understands that her life is the result of her own choices, actions, and decisions. She does not look to others to dictate her path or to hold her accountable for what she chooses to do. She takes full responsibility for the way her life unfolds, recognizing that while she may not have control over every external event, she always has control over how she reacts and what she does next. This sense of personal responsibility is empowering because it means that the outcomes of her life are largely in her own hands. Whether it's the career she chooses to pursue, the relationships she cultivates, or the way she takes care of herself, a self-reliant woman acknowledges that the decisions are hers alone to make. By doing so, she empowers herself to create a life that aligns with her values and aspirations without waiting for approval or validation from others. Her independence is not about isolating herself from the world, but about taking charge of her own journey, ensuring that her choices reflect her authentic self. Emotional independence is one of the most important aspects of being self-reliant. A strong woman understands that her emotional well-being is her responsibility. She does not rely on others for validation or happiness, nor does she seek external sources of approval to feel secure in who she is. She has developed the inner strength to navigate the complexities of her emotions and does not allow others to control how she feels or reacts. A self-reliant woman builds emotional resilience over time, knowing that life will present her with challenges that test her emotions. When faced with adversity, she doesn't seek others to fix her feelings. Instead, she leans on her own coping mechanisms, whether it's meditation, journaling, therapy, or simply taking time for herself to maintain emotional balance. She understands that emotional independence is a skill, one that must be cultivated and maintained through self-awareness and self-care. Being independent and self-reliant also means taking responsibility for practical aspects of life. A strong woman knows how to take care of her needs without relying on others to handle basic tasks for her. Whether it's managing finances, making decisions about her career, or handling her own day-to-day responsibilities, she is capable and competent in running her own life. This sense of self-sufficiency empowers her to be resourceful and adaptable in any situation. She doesn't wait for someone else to step in when something needs to be done. Instead, she takes initiative, problem-solving, and acting quickly to resolve issues on her own. She understands that being self-reliant doesn't mean doing everything herself all the time, but it does mean being fully capable of taking charge when necessary. She is not afraid of hard work, learning new skills, or stepping out of her comfort zone to ensure that she can handle whatever life presents to her. For example, when faced with a financial challenge, a self-reliant woman will take the time to educate herself about managing money, creating budgets, and finding solutions rather than relying on someone else to provide financial support or advice. She understands that this is her responsibility, and that learning and growing in practical areas is an essential part of her self-reliance. Being independent and self-reliant also requires the strength to set and maintain healthy boundaries. A strong woman understands that her time, energy, and emotional resources are precious. She knows when to say no to others and when to say yes to herself. She doesn't feel the need to please others or take on tasks that aren't aligned with her values or priorities. Instead, she takes charge of her own time, carefully deciding how she will spend it and who she will spend it with. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-care. It's not about shutting others out, but about protecting her own space, energy, and well-being. She knows that in order to maintain her independence and self-reliance, she must prioritize herself and her needs. She is assertive in expressing what she needs and in protecting her personal limits, and she is not afraid to make difficult decisions that preserve her autonomy. A self-reliant woman does not seek external validation or seek to live up to others' expectations. She stands firm in her own convictions and ensures that her actions are aligned with her values. By establishing and maintaining clear boundaries, she not only protects her own well-being, but also fosters healthier, more respectful relationships with others. Independence and self-reliance also involve a commitment to personal growth and lifelong learning. A strong woman understands that self-improvement is a continuous process, and she takes responsibility for her own development. She does not wait for others to teach her or tell her what to do. Instead, she actively seeks knowledge, new experiences, and opportunities to expand her skills and understanding. Whether it's reading books, taking courses, developing new hobbies, or engaging in self-reflection, a self-reliant woman is committed to the pursuit of knowledge and self-improvement. She understands that in order to maintain her independence, she must continuously evolve and adapt to the ever-changing world around her. This commitment to growth is what allows her to stay ahead of challenges and maintain her confidence in her abilities. Ultimately, independence and self-reliance are forms of empowerment. A woman who is self-reliant is not dependent on others for validation, support, or direction. She understands that her life, her decisions, and her well-being are in her hands. This autonomy brings with it a sense of control and purpose. By taking full responsibility for herself emotionally, mentally, financially, and practically, a strong woman becomes a beacon of empowerment, not just for herself, but for those around her as well. She inspires others to stand tall in their own lives, to take charge of their destinies, and to trust in their abilities to navigate the world with confidence and strength. In a world that often places limits on women, being independent and self-reliant is not just a sign of strength, but a declaration of autonomy and freedom. It is a refusal to be constrained by external expectations and a commitment to living life on her own terms. A strong woman understands that her worth and her potential are not defined by others, but by her own beliefs in herself and her ability to stand independently. Being independent and self-reliant is about building the capacity to meet life's challenges without relying on others for your happiness, emotional stability, or sense of direction. It's about nurturing the belief that you can navigate the world with strength, resilience, and confidence. In a world that often prioritizes comfort and convenience, the pursuit of meaning is a powerful act of defiance and strength. It is the courage to choose purpose over ease, depth over superficiality, and growth over stagnation. A strong woman understands that true fulfillment and lasting satisfaction do not come from the pursuit of comfort alone. Instead, she seeks meaning in everything she does, knowing that meaning offers a deeper, more lasting source of satisfaction than momentary comfort. Comfort, while enjoyable in the moment, is fleeting. It's easy to fall into the trap of choosing comfort over meaning, as society often rewards this pursuit with immediate gratification. Comfort might come in the form of material wealth, a life devoid of challenges, or avoiding discomfort and conflict in relationships. However, comfort at its core often keeps us stagnant. It prevents growth, introspection, and the discovery of our deeper purposes in life. A life spent pursuing comfort might look peaceful from the outside, but beneath the surface, there can be a sense of emptiness, a feeling that something is missing. A strong woman sees through the illusion of comfort. She knows that while comfort can be pleasant in the short term, it's the pursuit of meaning that truly nourishes her soul. She recognizes that real fulfillment comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from embracing challenges that help her grow and evolve. Meaning often lies on the other side of discomfort. It is found when she is pushed beyond her limits and ventures into uncharted territories. Growth requires discomfort. Whether it's in the form of pushing through a difficult personal transformation, confronting difficult emotions, or taking on challenges that seem daunting, growth is rarely comfortable. A strong woman understands that true transformation does not happen when she's sitting idly in her comfort zone. She chooses to step into the unknown even when it feels uncomfortable because she knows that this is where growth lies. For example, in her career, she might choose to take on a project that challenges her abilities, even if it means working long hours or stretching her skills. She knows that the reward is not just the completion of the project, but the personal growth that comes from confronting challenges head on. By embracing discomfort, she expands her capabilities, builds her confidence, and strengthens her resilience. These are the moments where she finds meaning, where she can look back and see how far she has come, not because everything was easy, but because she faced the difficult and emerged stronger. Similarly, in her personal life, a strong woman chooses to have difficult conversations, confront her fears, and face the truths that are uncomfortable to confront. Whether it's in a relationship or in her own self-reflection, she knows that avoiding discomfort only prolongs the pain and prevents real resolution. True intimacy and personal growth come when she is willing to embrace uncomfortable truths, knowing that this vulnerability leads to deeper, more meaningful connections. Meaning often requires delayed gratification, the willingness to endure short-term discomfort for long-term fulfillment. The pursuit of comfort, on the other hand, is driven by the desire for instant gratification. We live in a world where technology, social media, and consumer culture often promise quick fixes and immediate satisfaction. It's easy to become addicted to the idea that happiness and success are quick rewards, that comfort is always within arm's reach. A strong woman does not fall prey to this temptation. She understands that lasting fulfillment comes from the pursuit of purpose and the work that leads to it. She invests her time and energy in things that may not pay off immediately but are ultimately more rewarding in the long run. For example, instead of seeking immediate pleasure or distraction, she might choose to dedicate herself to learning, building meaningful relationships, or working toward long-term goals that align with her values. She knows that the path to meaningful success is not paved with shortcuts. It's paved with discipline, sacrifice, and patience. The pursuit of meaning is often a long and winding journey, but the rewards are far greater than any fleeting sense of comfort or gratification. A strong woman chooses to endure the discomfort of hard work, delayed rewards, and personal sacrifice because she understands that these are the very things that will bring her the deep satisfaction she craves. A woman who embraces meaning over comfort sees challenges not as obstacles to avoid, but as opportunities to grow. Every challenge presents a chance to learn, adapt, and become more than what she was before. The discomfort that comes with facing adversity becomes a tool for transformation. For example, in the face of a personal setback, she does not wallow in frustration or defeat. Instead, she reflects on what the experience has taught her, how it has shaped her, and what lessons she can carry forward. She might find that a failure leads to an unexpected opportunity, or that an intense emotional experience opens her up to new insights and personal understanding. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone on the path to greater self-awareness and fulfillment. A strong woman does not fear discomfort because she sees it for what it truly is, a catalyst for change. The more she embraces challenges, the more she builds her capacity for resilience, adaptability, and emotional strength. She knows that meaning often arises from the very challenges that most people try to avoid, and she faces these moments with courage and determination. To choose meaning over comfort is to live a life aligned with one's deepest values. A strong woman knows that living authentically means making choices that may not always be the easiest, but are in alignment with who she truly is. She refuses to compromise her integrity or settle for a life that does not reflect her core beliefs and values. This may mean standing up for what she believes in, even when it's unpopular or uncomfortable. It may mean turning down opportunities that would bring her financial gain, but conflict with her values. A strong woman understands that the pursuit of comfort, whether in her career, relationships, or lifestyle, can never replace the fulfillment that comes from living with integrity and purpose. She is willing to make sacrifices and face uncomfortable situations in order to stay true to her principles. The meaning is not always found in monumental moments or grand achievements. A strong woman understands that meaning can be found in the small, everyday actions that align with her purpose, whether it's the way she cares for her family, how she approaches her work, or the way she engages with others. She recognizes that these moments are where the true richness of life lies. She finds meaning in the process, not just in the end result. She is present, engaged, and committed to making every action count, even when it seems mundane or routine. Each moment holds the potential for meaning if she approaches it with intention and purpose. The meaning comes from the way she chooses to engage with life, not from seeking comfort or avoiding discomfort. Choosing meaning over comfort is about prioritizing long-term fulfillment, growth, and purpose over short-term ease and instant gratification. A strong woman understands that the true rewards in life come not from avoiding discomfort, but from embracing the challenges and opportunities that help her grow and evolve. She knows that meaning is found in the difficult, uncomfortable moments, the moments that test her resilience, deepen her character, and ultimately shape her into the woman she is becoming.